Alright, back with the 2019 Forest River pop-up camper. Let's go over a couple of the outside things. This right here, this runs off of gas. This is for your water heater. Okay, the water heater's got a switch inside that you turn on. There's a switch right on the other side of this wall, just kind of right down by your legs. You turn that on. It says water heater on it. You turn that on and it's going to demand propane. So you're going to come under here first. You're going to turn on that propane, and then turn that switch on. And that's all there is to it. If you're not sure if it's working, this should start clicking and you should hear flame. And if you really look down there, then you can see flame in there. That's pretty basic. We'll close that little guy up. Next thing we'll go over here is looking at the refrigerator. This is just for the refrigerator, okay? Now if you want to come down here a little bit.
I've just been zooming in.
Okay, well let me take the phone here so that I can go over some of these things. So with this guy, this can run off of propane, it can run off of 120 volts, and it can run off of your 12 volt battery. Yeah, the battery on the front of this, but you don't want to be, that's going to drain your battery really fast off of the 12 volts. So that's really just for trailering. If you're driving somewhere and the alternator is charging the battery in your truck, in your vehicle, then it would also be charging the battery here. So this really is for transporting for long trips to keep the fridge nice and cold still. At home in your driveway, I like to turn this guy on. You just want to have one on at a time. It says that right there, one source. So I'll turn that guy on to keep it cold when it's in my driveway. If really you're boondocking it and you don't have any electricity, then you could run it off of the propane. So, and there is a different setting here for how cold it gets, but I always just leave it on 7, the highest. With the propane, there's a little window right here that you can see if there's flame. Okay, it's just a little peek window. Now this is pretty key. I installed this aftermarket. You could turn this guy on. I'm not really sure what it does with the auto, at what temperature it starts turning it on, but it turns it on. I usually will put it on manual, especially if it's like 90 degrees. Now what it's doing is it's pushing all the hot air away from these heat fins, and that works hugely. If you don't have this fan on and it's hot, your refrigerator is going to be more like a cooler at best. You almost have to have these on. So yeah, and then try to remember to turn them off, because if you're not plugged into something, they will drain the battery on the front of this pretty quick. Next up would be the water connections. You could hook a hose up to here, pressurized, right? That you just leave the hose on, leave that hooked up. If you didn't have a permanent pressurized hose, then you could fill up the water tank. I'm not sure how big the water tank is. If I had to guess, I'd probably say, it looks like probably a good 10 gallons, maybe 15 gallons down there. You could fill that up right there. Now the only thing that uses water on the inside is the kitchen sink. There's no bathroom, there's no shower, okay? This is simply just a drain for letting the kitchen sink drain. Now it looks like you can hook a hose up to here. We don't do that, we just kind of leave it open. Yeah, if your kitchen sink's filling up with water, it's probably because you have not opened this. So that's that. with the furnace. These are just for the furnace heat exhaust. There's a thermostat inside for turning the furnace on. Remember to turn the propane on. We got an outside shower there. We have your 30 amp hookup here. Got a special connector there. You got your 30 amp standard plug there. You have an adapter here that you can put in if you want to just plug it in at home. It will work just fine. Just keep in mind you're not going to be able to run the AC off of standard 20 amp. You're going to need this 30 amp or you're just going to keep tripping your breaker. Now as far as the AC, there's an air conditioner right here. You can pull this all the way out and it's going to plug in right up there. So try to get this plugged in before you pop everything up, or you're going to be getting on somebody's shoulders or finding a step stool or something to get up there and plug that in. That's how you're getting power to your air conditioner on the roof. Other than that, I think that's about it. Well, we got the stabilizers down here, one on each corner. There's some blocks to help stop it from sinking. There's a wrench under here for that. Well, somewhere in there there's a wrench. And the end of it is going to look like this. There's also this in here for putting on the end of a cordless drill or something. If you bring one with, that goes really fast on putting all 4 of these down. Next up, we got a key in here for your spare tire. Get the spare tire there. You would just peel this off. There is a cable lock there holding the tire on, and that's the key on the inside. Other than that, you should be good to go.